AI images used to feel like party tricks. Now they are starting to look like tools. The difference is not just prettier pictures. The difference is control. For years, image generators were great at making fantasy landscapes, dramatic portraits, and weird viral memes. But if you asked for a poster with readable words, a product photo with the same bottle, or a small edit that did not ruin the whole image, things often fell apart. The old experience felt like rolling dice. You wrote a prompt, waited, and hoped. If the image was almost right, you often had to start over. That made it fun for experiments, but frustrating for real design work, where details matter. The recent excitement is coming from a practical change. Image tools are getting better at three things beginners actually care about. They can render text more clearly, they can edit an existing image with more precision, and they can keep people, objects, and styles more consistent across multiple attempts. Text sounds like a small feature until you need it. Most useful graphics contain words. A YouTube thumbnail, a menu board, a flyer, a product label, a chart, or a social post all depend on text that humans can read. Bad letters turn a good image into a joke. Older image models did not really understand letters as language inside the picture. They learned that signs and posters had shapes that looked like writing, so they produced letter-like textures. It was visually convincing from far away, but it often became gibberish when you looked closer. Newer systems are better at connecting the words in your prompt with the actual letters inside the image. They still are not perfect, especially with long paragraphs or tiny type. But the jump is important. A generated image can now carry a message, not just a mood. The bigger breakthrough is editing. Instead of asking for a whole new picture, you can start with an image and ask for a change. Make the background warmer, change the shirt color, remove the extra cup, add a label, keep everything else the same. This turns image generation from a slot machine into a conversation. You do not need the perfect prompt on the first try. You can move step by step. Generate a rough idea, correct it, adjust the mood, fix the text, try a few layouts, then choose the version that works. Consistency is what makes a tool feel professional. If a brand mascot changes face every time, you cannot use it in a campaign. If a product bottle changes shape in every image, it cannot support a store page. Useful image AI needs memory for visual identity. Imagine a small bakery creating a week of ads. It needs the same cake, the same logo, the same cozy style, and different messages for each day. If the model can keep those pieces stable, the bakery gets a flexible design assistant instead of a random art machine. If this kind of practical AI breakdown helps you understand what is changing without the hype, consider subscribing. We look at tools like this from the user side, with simple examples, clear limits, and no magical thinking. So why is this happening now? Part of the answer is that models are becoming more multimodal. That means they are not only trained to connect text with images, they are also getting better at using language, visual references, and editing instructions together in one workflow. A reference image gives the model something concrete to hold on to. Instead of guessing what a ceramic mug should look like, it can look at your mug. Instead of inventing a character from scratch each time, it can use the previous image as the visual anchor. Good editing requires context. If you ask to replace a sofa, the model must understand the room, the lighting, the camera angle, and the shadows. The new generation of tools is better at changing one part while respecting the rest of the scene. Under the hood, many image systems work in a compressed visual space. They do not paint every final pixel from the start. They build a hidden representation of the image, then gradually refine it. Better control means better guidance inside that hidden workspace. Prompt following is another reason the results feel more useful. Early models could ignore important instructions, or mix them together. Newer models are better at separating details like subject, style, layout, color, and text. That makes complex requests less fragile. Most design work is not about creating one masterpiece from nothing. It is about exploring options quickly. A designer may need 10 thumbnail ideas, 5 product angles, 3 flyer styles, and 1 final polished version. AI becomes useful when it speeds up that messy middle stage. The first practical use case is rapid concepting. Before spending hours in design software, a creator can test the direction. Should the poster feel premium, playful, futuristic, or handmade? Image generation can make those choices visible in minutes, even if the final design is made elsewhere. The second use case is mockups. A small business can see a logo on a bag, a candle on a shelf, or a t-shirt in a lifestyle photo before ordering samples. The image is not a manufacturing proof, but it helps people make decisions earlier. The third use case is content variation. One idea can become a square post, a wide banner, a story image, and a thumbnail. This matters because modern creators do not publish in one format. They need visual consistency across many surfaces. The fourth use case is cleanup and repair. Maybe a photo has a distracting object, a wrinkled background, or an empty corner that needs more room for text. Generative editing can extend, remove, or replace parts of an image without rebuilding the whole thing by hand. The fifth use case is explanation. Teachers, writers, and YouTubers often need a simple visual for an abstract idea. A brain made of circuit paths, a robot choosing between doors, or a city powered by data can make a concept easier to understand. But useful does not mean flawless. AI images can still make strange hands, confused diagrams, inaccurate charts, broken logos, and misleading scenes. If the image contains facts, numbers, medical details, maps, or legal information, a human still needs to verify it carefully. Charts are a good example. A model may create a beautiful graph that has no real data behind it. The axes may look professional, but the numbers might be invented. For anything factual, AI should help with layout and style, not become the source of truth. Logos are another trap. A generated logo can be a useful starting sketch, but it may resemble existing brands, use weak typography, or fail at small sizes. Serious logo work still needs originality checks, vector cleanup, and design judgment. The current conversation also includes ethics and copyright. Many people enjoy style-based transformations, but artists worry about imitation, consent, and compensation. A practical rule is simple. Use AI to explore direction, but be careful when copying a living artist, a studio look, or protected characters. There is also the trust problem. As images become easier to create and edit, viewers need to ask where an image came from and what it claims to show. A fantasy product concept is one thing. A fake news photo or false evidence is something very different. A common misunderstanding is that better image AI replaces designers. In reality, it changes the shape of the work. The human still decides the audience, message, taste, constraints, and final quality. The model can generate options, but it does not know what your business actually needs. As generation gets easier, taste becomes more important. Anyone can make a polished image. Fewer people can choose the right image. The valuable skill is knowing when something is clear, honest, on brand, and useful for the person who will actually see it. A practical workflow might look like this. Start with the goal. Gather reference images. Generate several directions. Pick one direction. Edit specific details. Add verified text and data. Finish in design software if precision matters. The AI is part of the pipeline, not the entire pipeline. Better prompts still matter, but they do not need to sound magical. Describe the subject, purpose, format, style, lighting, and the exact words you want. If editing, say what should change and what should stay the same. Clear, ordinary language usually beats vague hype words. One surprising skill is knowing when to stop iterating. AI makes it easy to keep asking for tiny improvements, forever, but every edit can introduce new mistakes. At some point, the best move is to export the image and finish the details manually. The big story is not that machines can make pretty pictures. The big story is that visual communication is becoming more accessible. A teacher, founder, creator, nonprofit, or local shop can express an idea visually without starting from a blank canvas or hiring a full production team for every draft. AI image generation suddenly looks useful because it crossed a threshold. It is becoming more readable, more editable, and more consistent. That does not remove the need for human judgment. It makes judgment more important because the question shifts from what can I make to what is worth making. What part of AI image generation still confuses you the most? Text, editing, consistency, copyright, or how to use it in a real workflow? Leave a question in the comments and suggest the next future tech topic you want explained in plain English.